we're going to do 8 code researches in the new 2009 iCodes. This will give you a good overview and also highlight 8 important changes in the 2009 IBC, IMC, IPC, and IFC. And we should be able to do these in about 15 minutes. In the 2009 IBC, we will look into the minimum egress width and area of refuge requirements in an accessible exit stairway. So let's start our research for the minimum egress width requirement in the IBC. First, I'm going to open our book group for the project by clicking on the book group here on the right. And now that I have the 4 books that I'm going to be using in this research open, I'm going to use our search feature, which is actually what we will be utilizing for all of the code researches. For the first analysis, I will enter egress width into the search box. Now, I see 38 matches for the International Building Code. To lower this number further, I'm going to refine my search and include quotes around the keywords to switch it to a phrase search. I have lowered the matches to only 5 matches. So let's look at the results in the IBC. Again, when I click on the book title, I'm in the table of contents. But because I have an active search shown with the yellow highlighting here at the top, I can see which chapters and sections have matches to my query. So I'm going to open chapter 10, and here I see 3 sections highlighted, which means that there is an active match. So I'm going to click on section 1005, egress width. The search phrase is highlighted in the content. And here, I read that the minimum egress width shall be 0.3 inches per occupant for stairways and 0.2 inches per occupant for other egress components, such as corridors. Now, you don't see any reduction in these requirements in the 2009 IBC for sprinklered buildings, whereas in the 2006 IBC, the minimum was 0.2 for stairs and 0.15 for other components in sprinklered buildings. Now, this change will affect buildings with large occupant load numbers, as the minimum 44 inches egress width still has not changed. So now we've looked into the egress width requirement. We're going to continue by looking into the area of refuge requirement in an accessible exit stairway. Now, in order for exit stairways to be considered part of an accessible means of egress, IBC requires the exit stairway to either incorporate an area of refuge or be accessed from an area of refuge or horizontal exit. And while the IBC 2000 and 2003 provided an exception to this requirement in sprinklered buildings, IBC 2006 took out this exception and required area of refuge in sprinklered buildings also. So let's see what the 2009 IBC tells us now. So I'm going to go back to the eLibrary, and we will start by entering area of refuge into the search box. I see the IBC with 9 matches, so let's go ahead and click on that. Now, I might not know what chapter or section I need to go into, and I certainly don't want to spend time by going into all of the chapters and sections with a match. So this time, I'm going to click on View All Matches here on the right-hand side to see all of the matches together. This will bring the search results in a Google-style Excel view, and the list is sorted by the highest relevancy, and I can easily scan the results without going into them. So let's go to the top result, section 1007, accessible means of egress. And here, in section 1007.3, stairways, exception 3, we read that the area of refuge is not required in buildings equipped with an automatic sprinkler system. So this means that the 2009 IBC brought back the exception provided to sprinkler buildings. The 2009 IBC also added 2 additional exceptions to the area of refuge requirements. An exception number 6 by saying that area of refuge are not required for smoke protected seating areas, and also a new exception is exception number 7, the area of refuge are not required in group R2 occupancies, sprinklered or not. So these are the changes for the area of refuge requirement. So let's move on to the mechanical code. In the 2009 IMC, we will review the maximum dryer exhaust length permitted and also look into the appliance installation height requirements in public garages. So I'm going to first go into the duct length, and I'm going to go to the e-library again, and I will start by entering duct length into my search box. And I will select IMC with 2 matches to see the results in the mechanical code. And looking at the chapters, it's very obvious that I need to go to section 504, closed dryer exhaust. And here in section 504.6.4, I read that the maximum length of the exhaust duct shall be 35 feet. This is an increase from the 25 feet maximum permitted in the previous 2006 IMC. So there's an increase permitted in the new code. The special provision to follow the length specified by the manufacturer is still provided in section 504.6.4.2. So there's no change in that section. For the appliance installation requirements in public garages, I'm again going to go back to the e-library and this time enter public garage into my search box. I'm going to select IMC, which has 3 matches, and go to General Regulations, Installation, Section 304. And here as I scroll down for public garages, I see that appliances shall be installed a minimum of 8 feet above the floor. And also if a motor vehicle is capable of passing under the appliance shall be installed not less than 1 foot higher than the tallest garage door opening. So I'm going to show this in an illustration to you as shown on your screen. Now this is a change also from the 2006 IMC, which required the installation of the appliance to be minimum 2 feet above the tallest vehicle. So it was above the tallest vehicle garage door opening. And because before it was tallest vehicle, it provided an unidentifiable dimension during design and inspection. So that's why there is a change in this requirement. Now that we've covered the mechanical code, let's move on to the plumbing codes.